Okay, Friday, 24th of January, 2025. So Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smarter stuff men should know. Future Friday, plan and strategize. The future is uncertainly certain. There's a very nice key principle here to understand that the only real constant in life, the thing that always stays the same, is change. We have a paradox there, but meaning the one thing you can be sure will always happen in the world, among a few things like oxygen and the sun, whatever else, is things will be different. Things will change. I did a video months ago now talking about different ways of predicting the future. 3 ways. And one is 15 and 30 years. Generally, things are noticeably different 15 years from now, but things are almost day and night compared to 30 years ahead. So you can be quite sure that goals and plans and things imagining in the world in the future probably will take 15 to 30 years to manifest in some noticeable world-changing form that's affecting world, affecting life, affecting reality. For a case in point, you just look at, say, the jobs industry, in terms of social media and internet, 15 years ago versus 30 years ago. Big differences. And of course, the longer in the future, obviously, the bigger the changes are. You look at, say, 1,000 years ago compared to today, big change. There's that word again, change. So you can be quite certain that things will be different in the future. The degree of change depends on many factors. 15, 30 years, culture, creativity. But also understand fundamentally that the more things change, the more they stay the same. Meaning, the fundamentals are the same. People can come and go, generations come and go, but people in the future will still need to eat, still need to breathe and sleep. They'll still grow, they'll still wear clothes, things like that. So, the culture and society and people and places can change, but the fundamentals are still the same. People still need to eat. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. The surface, the veneer, the facade changes, but the fundamentals are the same. Now also, I did a video about this, but I really can't remember which one exactly. It must be the Future Friday video, talk about the future. That the more we understand about the world, the deeper our reservoir is in life, the more things we understand. Science, society, anthropology, people, places, culture, history, you name it. The bigger that reservoir of knowledge, fundamentally, the better we can predict that change, how things will pan out. The better we can predict the future, basically, because through life experience and mileage, we've seen this before. We know it's going to happen. That can't happen. No way. That can't happen. That defies the laws of physics, things like that. And the more we understand about the world, the better we can predict those changes. The better we can anticipate. The better we can see them coming. The better we can prepare ourselves for these changes. That's really good. It's very powerful. Yeah. And the better we can logic our way into the future and think, well, if for this to happen, it needs this, then this, and this, and this, and this, and that. And then I think that the more you understand about the world and a few other things, like going onto a Bitcoin standard, you start thinking well into the future. And it becomes exponentially easier for you to think 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30 years, 50, 100 years into the future. Exponentially easy, but still quite difficult in general. 100 years is a bit difficult. It's possible, but a little difficult. So that's very powerful. And the more things change, the more they stay the same. And we want to be able to predict the future. Very practical, down-to-earth skill to have. And understand fundamentally that uncertainty and change is the only certain. Yeah. Very good, very important. Things change. And everything... I know I did a video, I'm quite sure I did a video about this months ago, that everything around us will one day be in the landfill site, will one day be returned to Earth, so to speak, in a very cyclical way of thinking about it. The plastics and fabrics and water and vitamins and minerals and paper and carbon, all these things came from the Earth, will return to the Earth on a long enough time span. And then you can say, well, what's the point? You risk being a bit nihilistic and say, what's the point? We're all going to die one day. Yes, indeed. It's a practical matter. But the legacy you leave behind, the impact, the things you do for the world today. There's that quote from Gladiator, your actions today echo in eternity. Very true. Your legacy. Because when you start thinking in 100 years time span, that's the legacy that's the grandchildren's grandchildren or grandchildren's children. Your great grandchildren, your great grandchildren, great grandchildren. Wow, their lives. What's their lives going to be like? 60 or so years from now. Powerful stuff. Very interesting stuff to think about. Yes. Yeah. That becomes easy and hard at the same time. Very important. Thinking long term. And embracing change is important as well. Embracing it. Thinking how to use this new technology to your advantage, for your benefit. That's very powerful. Because then we're staying ahead of the curve. I did a video about this on a Friday. The longer we wait, the harder it is to catch up. Meaning the longer we wait not using and utilizing this technology, the harder it'll be to catch up, because that distance, that delta between you and the competition, let's say, who are using it, will be so great. It'll be that leap, that jump requires more and more energy to catch up, because you've spent so much time on different courses. You're continuing like this, flatlining, or someone is going like this, and over time that distance becomes insurmountable. So that is very powerful. Embracing technology, staying ahead of the curve. I've started doing some interesting things with ChatGPT, custom GPTs, for example, staying ahead of the curve, going real deep into the technology and how to use it in many different ways. Powerful, very powerful, very useful, very useful. Yes. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.